Yes, and with that, a warm welcome to Anna Spepax on this beautiful day. It's already almost 25 degrees. Today is going to be really warm again. That's why I arranged to meet Philipp here. We are going to test together once more. He is testing the microfiber mop from chemicalworkz for all of us again. I tested it with Peter on a motorhome. I tested it myself on the BMW, and I just want more opinions, more feedback, more voices. And that's why I brought him along and invited him to test the device on his Ford Fiesta. Let's take a look together. He assembles it and handles it. He knows that he has already watched the video about the motorhome, so he knows what the thing looks like and what you can do with it. But here is a bit more feedback on whether it might also be helpful for a personal vehicle, a small vehicle, especially in relation to back pain. Philipp, back pain, posture-wise, handling moderate. Give your feedback and have a relaxed talk. Let's get started. Philipp, the stage is yours. You've already looked at it. That means there shouldn't be any problem putting this together now. And there's one feature I forgot to show in my video with Peter. We'll show that right at the beginning. Here is the head. You need to hold the pole really tight. Here's the head. You can twist it like this and this, but now you have this little lock here. And of course, I didn't see it in my pure excitement. You can press the button here to lock it. Now it only moves a tiny bit, but it still moves. That means you now have a locked head, and if you no longer want that, you just press over here on the other side. Click. And now you have it moving again. We can just test it like this for now, and then we'll click it in place again. Yes, otherwise, you are wired with a microphone and can report. We will try out factors such as handling, weight, and ergonomics. Advantage, you can share a bit of your experience. The weight is definitely noticeable when it's fully pushed. The sponge is quite substantial. It looks highly professional. Have you ever reached from one side to the other with your arm? That was exactly my thought, the first advantage. So, it works perfectly. He needs to feel it out a bit first. You can tell it's quiet. He needs to do this first. This is a completely new experience. It's just easier. You don't have to walk around. If you do everything from up there, you can take out some fresh water again. Now you practically rinse out, loosening the fibers. The coarse dirt that is still there shouldn't be much after a good pre-wash. It is now in the wash bucket under the trap. Well, I can say it's very relieving for the back. You really don't have to bend over at all anymore. You've fully extended your bar now. There's still more to it. Length matters. You can also clean from further away. The distance control works here as well. The only problem is, if you only have 1 meter of space on the left and right in the parking space, then you end up making holes in the wall. But just imagine that. Play around with the settings a bit. Let's try something. You can also adjust it briefly. What do you think about these handles? Feels good. So here you have rubber and you have foam. Yes, exactly. A bit softer, I think. I don't think that's bad, especially when you have wet hands. Good point. The issue of wet hands. Do you even get wet hands? No, that's actually exactly the point. Maybe beforehand, when you've cleaned the rim somehow, because you can't do that with this. Makes sense. Please wet your hand, and then grab the handle and let me know if you can. Grip the rubber well. Maybe slide a bit with some shampoo, so it will slip more. The foam is, you have grip, yes, but hold on. When you attach the shampoo, you notice that you slip. Of course, that's clear. You can simply wipe your fingers or hands on your pants for a moment, and then you're good to go. Or you can take a small cloth and wipe it off. But in any case, the situation where your hands are soaking wet doesn't really exist. And now this is also interesting. Holding the phone in the lower area, at first I had to figure out what the best position is. Yes, you have to make sure that you have a good grip. Yes, I think, if you want to clean it properly, you generally have to go over it again, because, well, I have several edges here. If you have it completely smooth, let's say, then it works. But just like with me, it ends up being done by hand. You have a very narrow area down here. We can get a bit closer here. Well, it's not optimal for this kind of thing, obviously. And especially back there at the blade, it's already difficult to get in with the glove. Now it would be exciting to pull it out all the way. You could try using that locking function. Press this safety button, in again, and now look at what changes. Because I didn't notice that right away either. It no longer turns sideways.
It's quite good for the sides. So for the sides, I would really secure it, because then it stays in position.
Yes. So I think we have actually shown and said everything, right? I think that's good. Can you get up nicely onto the roof? Can you cover the entire roof? And the advantages that are actually not even included yet are that you don't have a hose system attached at the back, and you don't have a time program pressuring you. You don't have to take the risk of using this brush here, which might be in a slightly worse condition than some SD boxes. You don't need to put a cover over it. And the whole thing is actually relatively light, except for the head part, which fills up with water.
Well, that's 2001. It's no different than going in with a glove. So for large areas, I find it perfect. If you have a large car with big surfaces, especially if you are shorter and can't really reach the roof, I find that quite problematic. Well, now for all the small edges, especially at the front on the hood and at the front of the bumper, you have to do that by hand. You can't get that with it.
In principle, this is primarily for minibus, motorhome, and pickup. What do we have left? Caddy and such. Everything that has large areas. If you have a car like that and it has a Honda City Type Air or any 1000 wings, 1000 attachments, it's clear that it is not really suitable for that, obviously. But you could clearly see the advantages that I have shown. Well, that was it. Short and compact, just a bit of feedback gathered. Yes, and with that, I thank you all for watching, folks, because what else is there to show? You have seen how it is with the handling of adjusting, also with this head for locking. I completely overlooked that in my videos. But now we have also shown it, so you practically stabilize it. It can only tilt forward and backward and can no longer rotate sideways. Yes. So for all the caravan fans or motorhome users, everyone with large vehicles, this is actually a really, really nice thing. And you should definitely take a look at this while I work with the vehicle. I'll bring Philipp in again. He's still practicing a bit. And also an important point is that you have to get used to it briefly at the beginning. So it's really a point, because normally you have gloves on your hand and you go over the car, but here you simply have the point of this pole adjustment. But as it looks, you find a bit of pleasure in it because it's simple. You don't have to bend down here. You no longer have that bending down that we tested earlier with the bucket system. Well, I think you get used to it. Washing the car has never been so easy on the back. But that is really a very important point, because you can do the rest again in a short time while bending down, the details. But you do the rough stuff here. While you dance along the car, completely relaxed at the pole. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time. Feel free to give it a try. It's a nice thing. I believe it costs around $40 or something with 2 covers. And you can also use a discount code, I believe. You're somehow at 6 and 30 or something in that direction. That's great. So if you have a large vehicle, this is a tool that I would always have with me. You see, and I believe that even with such a small vehicle, it can be a real advantage. Philipp keeps going when he no longer feels like it.
It should have happened a long time ago. Somehow this feels very liberating right now.
I'm just including this because it shows exactly what matters. It's purely a matter of practice.
That is so...
Yes. So we're done now, folks. Until the next video. So what now? Bye.